So GameStop slash ThinkGeek, same fucking company, owned by the same thing, recently decided out of nowhere to suddenly sell NES Classic bundles. Yes, several bundles that featured NES Minis with various themed objects. Sort of like a loot crate type of bundle thing. There was a Mega Man one, Super Mario ones, all sorts of them, various prices. They didn't look marked up. It looked dollar for dollar value, but there's just not something right here about this whole situation. From a business standpoint, this was quite genius because these bundles sold out rather quickly. I mean, within an hour, they were all gone. There was not one single option to just buy an NES Classic by itself. You had to buy an NES Classic bundled with one of these things. Now, the thing about GameStop is they're starting to get into this bundle habit where in order to get certain consoles, like the Nintendo Switch, for example, you gotta buy a bundle. And these can be a little bit pricey. You gotta think of the people who don't really have the budget for an Nintendo Switch or an NES Classic bundled with a handful of objects or games or whatever. And this is a weird habit that GameStop has been doing quite recently. It almost seems like the only way that you can get a Nintendo Switch is to bundle it up with some games, and it looks like they did it with the NES Classic. Now, on a couple of my friends' channels, RGT85 and Beat 'em Ups Wood, they covered this topic. RGT85 did a video wondering exactly where these NES Minis are coming from, and Wood actually had a panel discussion with Smash JT, RGT85, and a guy by the name of Ryan who discovered pictures of a wholesaler selling a lot of Switches and Classics on Amazon, basically liquidating them, like pallets full of Switches and NES Classics. Now, this is a weird situation considering GameStop suddenly had this stock coming out of nowhere after months of people saying it was discontinued, there was no more stock, the stock was all gone. ThinkGeek suddenly had enough to make a sale of bundles. Were they holding out on them? That's the question RGT85 brought up, and combined with what was on Wood's channel, with people actually having warehouses full of stock, Nintendo stock, artificially creating this demand for stuff by making it look like they're hard to find. Something's not going right around here. Could it be possible that if this person on Amazon has all this stock sitting here, that GameStop actually did the same thing, or somehow connected, or kind of following this business model of artificially controlling the market? GameStop is the #1 game store in North America. There's no bones about it. If they were to hold on to hundreds of Nintendo Switches or NES Classics and just only sell them as bundles, you can't really do much of that. And I think it's shady because, in my opinion, even if it is dollar for dollar on the bundles or not, if it's marked up a little bit, to me, this is pretty close to being a scalper. There's people that really would like Nintendo Switches and NES Minis, and this example of NES Minis being out of nowhere enough to sell just does not sit right with me at all. It just seems like they're wanting to push these bundles of extra stuff that ThinkGeek cannot get rid of on its own. I've seen some of these bundles, like there's one with like a Zelda towel with a Nintendo Switch, and then there was like a Tetris lamp with a NES Mini. A lot of the stuff on ThinkGeek ends up going on clearance anyway, so it is a little fishy. I'm gonna have to take a closer look. Forgive me for shooting this video and giving my thoughts about dollar for dollar value, because something just does not sit right with me here. It is big business. I know that was brought to my attention that GameStop is a big business and that's how business works, supply and demand. But I just feel that if they're sitting on so many consoles that people want to buy, why hold on to them? Why bust them out of nowhere, and why bundle them up for more than what they're worth? Not everybody wants to pay over $160 for an NES Mini, and a lot of people missed out on the chance that they got from the beginning. In my opinion, it's just bad business practices. What do you guys think? Is this kind of a fishy situation? Comment below and let me know what you guys think.